Hi guys, today we are going to build a new PC. So the hardware we are going to use building for this PC is the Antec DB700PL power supply unit and the MSI B460M motor Wi-Fi series of motherboard. And we are using over here is the Syntax one of the Core i5-10400F1. So because we are using the graphics card, we are not going to use the UHD processor, as we already know the graphics card we are using. The graphics card we are using over here is the MSI GeForce GTX 1660 Gaming X Series graphics card. And this graphics card is normally required as 16 GB of RAM. So we are using the HyperX Fury series of Kingston. This one is Kingston's HyperX Fury. Is a DDR4 2666 MHz of 28 GB of RAM. We are using it equal to 16 GB of RAM. We are using, and one TB of Western Digital hard drive. And the PC case we are going to use is newly launched and is a DS600 Flux of Antec PC case. So let's begin. We are going to first unbox the new Antec DS600 Flux cabinet. So let's begin. The quite a big box. Heavy man. There's the I'll show you. This is how they pack the cabinet over here. You can see. Let me take out the cabinet first. Now, there's the cabinet. There, I'm going to use it over here. This is from side. There it is. Cabinet. Oh no. The styrofoam over here. Take out these things first. Yeah. Where is it? So let's show you closely the cabinet that's comes with a tempered glass. This glass is I can feel this. This is not an acrylic glass. It's totally a solid glass. I can see, and both the screw are secured with this screw we are using, and this is how they usually remove it. Work over here. The screws holding, and you can slowly just slide them off like this. This actually shows is a totally glass. This one is not an acrylic glass. It's a totally a glass. So we should side by side. Yes. This cabinet is come with a pre-mounted 3 fan in the front. As you can see, there's a 3 fan. It's already mounted in the front of the side, and once is a reverse fan installation kit is coming for the directly flow for the graphics card. You can see, and one is in the back one. So another part of is over here. There's a you can let me unscrew it first so I can show you. carefully. Yes. There's a pre-installed dust filter over here, and there's also a dust filter up here for the 240 mm, maybe more than that. There's a radiator mounted, and the USB. This are all come with the caps. So there's a one good thing about is that it's not going to the dust not going to particles of this. It's going to stuck over there. And here's the power button and the LED for ARGB fans. These are all ARGB fans, and we are going to use this ARGB fans for the it's to be a style matter. And this part is interesting. This ARGB controllers over here already pre-mounted, and the one comes a white. This is a I think this one is for the screw mounting or something. That's going to be on here. We're going to unbox it. This this ARGB driver is come with a 3 SATA port over here, and this one is for I think it's an LED strip, ARGB LED strip maybe, or direct. I don't know what exactly it is. And this is a VDG. What is this? Even I don't know that. And this one is the SATA for SATA 3.0, USB 3.0. It just looks like the same SATA cable over here. USB 3.0 for the front of this PC case for pen drive or something. Yes, definitely. And here is the hard disk LED and power LED and driver switch as well up there. Here's the power switch over here. Is the power switch. Pretty well. And here is another is a easily removable 3.5-inch drive bay over here, and you can see already there's a pre-installed 2.52 of the. You can either install on laptop hard disks or SSDs over nowadays, and also here you can mount it, this part, and I think so there's a motherboard mounted. There's a motherboard we are using over here is a Micro ATX motherboard, and we have to figure out how to install it over here, because this pre-installed screws over here, mounting screws are over here. I think we should change the place where it belongs or something else maybe. I don't know. We're going to figure out this. So let's unbox this one first and see what's inside of it. This guy's yes, there we go. Well, this gun is really stubborn. Oh, I see, yeah, why. And yeah, there we go. Now we opened up, and here's the drive bay we're going to use. Let's keep the drive bay. This is where it belongs. Just right over there. Let's unbox this one. What is inside over here? Let's see. So, I need a small knife over here to cut out this. Yes, here we go. So the interruption. Yeah, we can find. Okay. So here is it comes with the zip ties. Few of the zip ties over here. The zip ties. Let me try easier. Sticking with the zip ties. Another ribbon over here. Maybe this one is for wearing, and zip tie. lots of screws over here for mounting. Okay, and there's an instruction manual over here, information guide, so whether you can install wherever you like. Yeah, we can enjoy it now. Wow. Here's the motherboard installation way. We can install the it's a cool. Yes, here's the HDD we can mount over here, right over the written over the years, and also in here 3.5 inch hard disk drive. So we are going to use this one. Here is the motherboard. Let's unbox it. Let's give you a closer look. Motherboard. Select this side. And here's the motherboard. Unboxing it. Oh, this is my once I unboxed it. So here's the motherboard itself. The motherboard itself is a very nice one. It's already sealed. So let's unbox it. Sealed. Carefully. Yes. Here is the motherboard itself, and very carefully. It's a pre-installed input-output bezel over here. It's a very nice one. The motherboard is pre-installed input-output bezel with a heatsink, and this motherboard already got a M2 SATA port for installing an M2 drive, so we don't need it for that because we are already installing an HDD RAM slot. It's a very good motherboard. Anyway, let's keep it aside. Yes, and inside the box there is a Wi-Fi antenna, M2 mounting screws, so Wi-Fi antenna, M2 mounting screws, game scritter, I don't know, this MSI badge, wow, MSI DVD, Intel motherboards, driver and utilities. Okay. There's a manual over here. I'm going to need this, and a quick installation guide over here. All recommended how I'm gonna install it. So everything is under over here. I'm gonna use it later. And there's a L-headed SATA cable. One is straight, one is L. We're going to find out how to use this. And pretty much empty box itself. Let's keep it aside this way. So that's all these things. Let's bring the cabinet first. Now we're going to bring the cabinet over here to install the motherboard. cabinet over here, and let's we're going to see the mounting screws over here. They're recommended, the mounting screws. Where's the mounting screws? Yes, here is it. Here is it, the mounting screws. We need it, so let's check out the way it is has to be. 1, 2, 3. So already a 1, 2, 3 there. 1, 2, 3. There's a 1, 2, 3 right over there, and is a 1, 2. I think this has to be another over here. The 1, 2, 3 is right over here, and this one is already given. I think this has to be one over here. Yes, it is right behind this one, and we should put it over here. Let's unbox my tools. Be very much cautious while you're screwing all the screws over here. You don't want to damage any of the parts of the motherboard. One part we are missed, so we have to unscrew it again. Wonderful. I'll come back here after I install it. After some little bit of trial and error, we finally install the motherboard, and where the screws or places belongs to the from the mounting screw by adjusting it to the motherboard setups. And now we are going to install the CPU. As you know, this already a heatsink come with the CPU is a LGA 1200 socket. So already in the tech spots they show that you can install the 1155. These kinds of CPU, these kinds of CPU coolers is a mention of 1151, 1150, 1155, 1156. These are all compatible CPU coolers to your new LGA 1200 CPU Comet Lake architecture series. So I'm not going to use this CPU cooler, but I'm going to use the stock CPU cooler because I'm not confident about this. They also told about. Anyway, so let's install the CPU. The next thing now, we are going to install our new Core i5 10th generation processor of LG at 1200 socket, and is a i5-10400F. Remember the animation, the F syntax that I'm going to use over here instead of the normal one, because I don't need the onboard HDMI port, so because I'm using the graphics card, that's why. So let's unbox it and install it. So it's a factory. So here we have to put out this as well. Yeah. See. Here is the CPU fan. Inside there is a CPU fan. There is a processor over here. The CPU fan itself. It's called living fan. It's a great living fan anyway. Let's see the CPU itself. It's right over here. I'm supposed to unbox it. Here is it. The CPU itself. I hope you can read that. So let's install it. Oh yeah, there's another thing in the box is the manual and the Intel Core i5 10th generation logo over here. Let's do it. Now first we gotta do the box right. Let's back down. Yeah. It's right over here. Let me show you, come closer. This inside the box. We're going to use it. Remove the latch carefully. Flip over here just like this. Take out the CPU. CPU. Simply twist off. Carefully remove from the box and never touch the underneath the wrist, and remember the mark over here we are going to follow. CPU has two knots in the both side. Carefully we are going to match the socket and put the CPU on right over there. As you see, you can match, and now we can hit the cover right there. Push it, and yes, that is how you install a new CPU in your port. Okay, so this cover with right has a heatsink, paste already mounted, so we don't need any more paste of it. So just carefully mount the CPU just right over it, and just simply connect the cable just right over here. CPU fan, it's already mark on it. Just carefully install it. Yes, just press it and lock it. Just press it and lock it. Just press it and lock it. Press it and lock it. Oh, sorry guys. And your CPU is fully
securely mounted, and the cable we are routing a little bit of in this part, but we have to manage it just like this. And here it is. Cable goes over here, and if you feel a little bit of hesitation, just you can put the cable right just in the little gap over here on the notch. If you see, use lock position. Alright, and just like this, and you're good to go. Yes, and so now the CPU is already installed. Let me show you. Let's see. The CPU has already installed, nicely mounted, with no hesitation. CPU fan directly connected, CPU installed, and CPU fan is already installed. Now we are going to install the RAM. Now the RAM we are using, as we earlier mentioned, we are using the HyperX Fury DDR4 2666 MHz 8 GB RAM. In this, we are going to use the first DDR1 and DDR2 slots. So let's begin. So we're going to unbox it. The first RAM. Here we are. Box it first. We're going to just break the seal like this. And smoothly, gently pull right like this. This space is reserved for key of 2 only. It's a double key, somehow came on another package maybe or something. Anyway, I'm going to use the first one, and here's the second one. Here's the second one. There we go. It's the second one. So let's keep it aside. These two. Put the knife back over there, and just let's open up the first one. Let's see how it's open. Take it like this. Okay, so here's a badge, a logo. As we can see, is also a logo over here they gave us. Pretty good. Anyway, remember when you install the RAM, keep it closer. There's an indication mark over here, DDR1, DDR2. So keep in mind, you should match those, including the notch over here, the RAM you're putting. So let's begin. Sorry for the interruption. A little bit of the button to move. And here's already written somewhere. Yeah. DIMM1. Match the notch, and a little bit of wire is interrupting the message. Yes. Match the notch, and inserted just like that. It's secure. My wire is a little bit of interrupting over here, so it should be fine until I let him just like this. Yes, it is good to go now. Perfect. It's fully set, and This is the DIMM 1 and it is the DIMM 2. So there's a little bit of difference I have to show you. There's a marking over here. It's a very tiny mark. There's the first one and second one. There's a, I can hardly show you in the camera anyway. There's a marking, I need to change it. Something. Let's set up a bit carefully again. Let me see. Okay, there's a problem I'm facing now. Right, I have to install it. Let me check the manual, which one is going to be. For two memory modules, there's DIMM A2 and DIMM B2. We have to install just like this. So here is it written DIMM A2. So this one is the DIMM A2. We should remove from here. Here we go. And DIMM B2, and DIMM B2 is the last one. DIMM B2. So another one of the RAM. I'm going to unbox it and install it. Just like that. DIMM B2. That's perfectly installed a System GB 8+8 RAM, and you can see is both of the RAM are installed perfectly, motherboard installed perfectly, CPU, cooler and CPU are installed perfectly. Now I'm going to install the power supply. Before we go to the power supply, let's first install the hard drive. So this is very easy. Let's complete this first. We can go into the next step of the power supply. Anyway, let's start it right over here. Let's have the WC connector. Got it. Take out the HDD. As we mentioned before, there's an optional in the. Let me show you first. Let's keep it like that instead. Fit over here. As there's in the cabinet mentioned, there's another way to install hard disk drive over here, but in this case we are going to use the easy removal drive bay. This is a 3.5 inch, so without any hassle we are going to install this guy over here, just like this. And let me put it to the let's just install it. The drive bay is just like this over here, and let's click, and it's good to go now. No problem. There's a little screw to hold the hard disk drive, so let me take out the screw. There was the screw. All screws over here. Take out this two guy. and there is a 2 screw we are using over here. It's just like this. And just simply use driver to secure it. It's better that way to secure the driver rather than hurry. It's good to go now. And let's show you. It's very simple now to install the drive-in, just like simply slide it into it, just like cable, just like over here. Here we go, and it's all secured now. Boom, secured. It's all. Now it's time to install the power supply unit. Here's the power supply unit. We're going to install this Antec VP700P, as I mentioned before. Let's unbox it. Here's the power cable we're using, and the jump of cables. Over here, this is the mounting screws it comes with, and flip the box right there and just slide it around. That's how we did. So here is the box. Is a empty box right now. Nothing inside. Empty box. It is a catalog or something. Samsung. And just catalog anyway. There's a product overview on this, and one thing is a manual anyway. 700P is yes, it's a manual. And it's a 2 years warranty card of the system. Now let's remove it from the boxes. Wow, it's damn good looking. It's a very beautiful looking, and it's a 120mm fan beside. It's an optimally 700 watt power supply unit on the necessary cable. Before we begin install this SMPS, so I'm going to move the cable harness a little bit upside over here, and there's a way to install it. Just slide through over here, just like this. And match the hole as recommended. Here you need to match the hole so the screw where it goes. Here's one screw there, and one screw over here. So we are going to match the hole and screw the necessary. So here are all the screw. I think I better should use the cabinet screws itself. I think that would be a better part of it than rather than using the SMPS, because after all, distance matters. There are the screws. We're going to use it. It's like that before. We're going to use this for the screws. For the screws I need it just right over here, and let's screw it carefully. Put the tip on the screwdriver carefully. Set like this. So that's the right over there. The corner one. Here is another one. And here is another one. Now you can see the SMPS mounted perfectly. Here are all the cable harnesses, and here is the random SMPS mount. And should install the cables. Right, when the motherboard cables are now have to separate all the cables from one on each other. So ties they are using to hold the cables over here. The ties to hold the cable. Anyway, so this is a mobile cable. Motherboard cable is, and the CPU power cable over here. That's right. I think this is not. I should check the manual again. I have to check the manual again. I think this guy is the motherboard cable. I should first check the manual and then come back. So here is the manual I'm going to use to connect the motherboard and CPU power supply, as well as graphics card and other necessary things to run the PC, as we already know that. Anyway, let's begin. As I see all the cable run around on the back side of the motherboard. Show it directly on the back side of the motherboard. All the cables are perfectly connected. Here's a notch. It's a pretty damn strong thing. Should be very careful with going through such a just like this. carefully push it. And here we go. Just like this. Connected to the motherboard power supply cable. Zip ties were given to securely wrap the cable throughout the unit. The zip ties were given. I already show you. The zip ties were given to securely wrap the cable throughout the cabinet behind it. Anyway, I'm going to use it later. This all products. So next thing, I'm going to install the CPU power supply. Right there. CPU power supply. Let me check first which one of the CPU power supply is 12 voltage with 2. Where is it? 12 voltage with 2. There's the power supply cable. It's very hard to here. 422, just like this, just like this. EPS connector. So, where is the port? I'm going to use it. Use it to connect the power cables, just like this over here. Just like this, just like, come on, easy man. Just a little bit of tough, but yes, finally, yeah, secured now, perfectly mounted and it's secured this way. So here's the how of the CPU and the motherboard goes, and now in the back side we're going to use one of the SATA connector to the hard drive. The hard drive will be the best. There's a mini SATA connector and we're gonna choose it from one of this. And these are all the power supply for 8+2. 8+2 is equals to, this one is for the graphics card. We are going to use it right over here. And there's a two of them. 6+2 8 pin PCI connector. we're going to use for the graphics card. So let me finish routing the scale perfectly. I connected the USB 3.0 cable to the motherboard and the power switch and the power LED and hard disk LED cable, as well as the HD audio, and I changed the system fan to the system fan port. Instead of back over here is the RGB controlling board. So it's more actually I'm trying to clear all those cable harness as best as I could. So let's install another reverse fan installation. This fan we are going to install over here to cool down the graphics card more as possible. So let's unbox it and see what's inside. The system fan is a reversible system fan. As you can see, it's turning clockwise and the air will come out into this side. Let's do that. This is a 3-header port. So we are going to mount over here this fan, this right over here with the screw cams. I'm thinking about this. This might be this screws is going to, yes, this screw is going to meet over here. That's all the screws were needed to mount it. This screw. Here's the 4 of the screw I need. Here's the 4 of the screw I need. Let's try the picture. First, let me decide which port is going to be the perfect for us. There's a system fan 2 over here. We're going to use this cable to the system fan 2, the secondary system fan, and the fan should be right over here. I'm trying to clear the path of the cable harness a little bit over here before installation. Let me first slip this just like this over here, and yes, just like this. It's going to work out well. Okay, let's screw it. The screw goes over here. Carefully connect the connectors right over here, and here is it. Connect another screw. is it? As I mentioned, I'm trying to clear the cable harness as best as possible, routing the cable perfectly as I could. Screwdriver, and let's tighten it down. Now here's the cable. It's a perfectly mounted reverse direction fan right over here. Let me first fix the cable harness in the back, then I will come back again. Okay, after some moment clearing the harness as best as possible, I installed the hard disk drive as well as managed the cable and rerouted that cable to over here as best as I could to maximize the airflow. The last thing is the graphics card I have been waiting for to install it. Oh yes, another is SATA connector has described it to from here to went through from there to connected in the SATA port 1 over here. Here is the graphics card I am eagerly waiting for, and let's unbox it. This phone over here, some let's see what's inside. It's Lucky the Dragon Computer Workshop. This is a bill before I already opened the bill on the computer. Here's a quick graphics card user guide, and thanks for supporting an MSI product over here. And nothing else, it's empty right over here. Here is the graphics card itself. There's nothing. Let's go here, let's unbox it. Here is the graphics card, as you can see. It's amazing looking graphics card. Amazing looking. Play hard, stay silent. There is a PCI connector protecting case and the back plate as well. Fully aluminum heatsink, double fan side. Let's get installed. Where's the PC? We're going to install this PCI slot. We are going to install in this PCI slot. So let's have that. And I need to clear out two screws though. This is double IO shield, so I have to clear out for the space. insert the graphics card. Take out the protective IO shield. Just simply, very carefully just firmly push it. And you see the nut over here. As you see, the latch is locked. It was tight over here. Now screw it back where it belongs. And this is like a little cap over here. Just like that. And this is a power supply for the GPU itself, and it's a 2.8 by there's also. I'm going to use this one. As you can see, the final part over here, just like this. Can't decide, figure out how. Yes, just simply insert this and you're good to go. Now this is how we install the GPU, and let's install this one. First check there's a dust filter properly mounted over here. Yes, it's properly mounted. Now carefully install this shield button. Here's the side panel of the back side of the panel of this side, and here I'm going to install this panel. And this is the complete of this system. It's amazing look. Plus this. Here is graphics card as well. Seriously amazing. Let's install it, the OS, and see what's happened. As you see, I plug it in now and see the system as it's running all the things. I didn't put the antenna yet. I have to install the OS first. You see, can buy screen. It's amazing looking.